This one is about worship leadership. So many times people think that worship leadership is what we do on the platform. We lead others in song, but actually worship leadership runs much deeper than that. It starts when you're alone with God. And so unless you have that foundation, what you do on the platform will fall short every time. So I know God can use what we do on the platform, but it won't be nearly as impactful as if you start when you're alone. So I just wanted to talk to you about a couple things. What does worship leadership look like when you're alone? The biggest resource I'm going to give you is the Bible. And I know that sounds cliche, but unless we're in the Word, unless we read the words of God and read the words that were inspired by God, then we won't really know the truth. And how can we possibly teach our church the truth in song if we don't know it ourselves? How can we sing confidently about the promises of God unless we know them ourselves? And I realize that there are times in our lives where it's difficult to feel the promises, and when we're in strife or when we're going through a tough time, but we will still have hope if we're diving into the truth. So spiritual development is really important. Also, know who your lifelines are. I'm one of your lifelines. If you're struggling with something spiritually, you can always contact me. There are pastors in this church who would be happy and so glad to help you and just talk you through things. Talk you through what is it that you're struggling with at that moment. And so know who your lifelines are, because none of us are perfect, and there's no way that we can come here every week and lead worship and go to our families and our daily lives and our work and remain on a spiritual high all the time. It's just not possible. So know who you can talk to, and please talk to somebody. Community group. So community groups are really important, and yes, the Refuge Band is a group, but unless we're talking about scripture together on the regular, it's not really a community group that sets a foundation. So I will begin sending you some YouVersion devotionals and Bible studies. If you don't have the YouVersion app, please get it. I'll send you some YouVersion Bible studies so that we can start talking together as a band on what is worship and how does that relate to us, and maybe some other things that maybe all of us as a band are going through, and we'll go through those and develop a community group. There are also so many other community groups here at the church. I know some of you are already involved in some. We have a group called The Gathering that meets at 580 Coffee House before the Refuge service. So get involved in a group that not only is going to help you dive into the Word, but also encourage you spiritually and do some things that we can't do during a rehearsal setting. Sometimes we're very focused on the music, and yes, we talk about God, and yes, we sing about God, but a community group is where you really dive deeper, and so I encourage you to get involved in one.